So you've been wanting to make a school album for your child or several children, but you're just so overwhelmed. Perhaps your child is a senior or in their 20s, and you have so many pictures, so many souvenirs, you just don't know where to begin. Or maybe you have a child in first grade or just starting school or in elementary school and you're only a little bit behind, but you have absolutely no spare time. Can you spare 2 hours? We can get a school album done and I can help you. We can do it quickly using the Creative Memories Back to School collection. I'm Beth Saunders. I'm a Creative Memories advisor and I have been scrapbooking since the 90s and an advisor since late 2003. I can help you. I know some speedy tricks and tips, and I just want to help you get through the overwhelm, get rid of the mom guilt, and be able to have something that your kids can hold in their hands and look back at their school photos. Let's get started. Let me give you a hint on how we're going to do this quickly, and that's that we are going to make one page per year. So the easy way to do this is to put the first day of school pictures together and you can quickly make an album. You don't have to use everything, all the pictures that you have. So let me show you how to do this using our new back to school collection. And my favorite part, this is what's going to make life really easy, is the annual paper. You see there's a page for each year. It's already designed. This is a piece of paper. This looks 3D, but it's just a solid piece of paper. So what we're going to do is cut those up into a small album that you can use for those first day of school pictures and maybe a couple more pictures, and then boom, you're going to be done. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can get a 12 by 12 album. So this is the sort of traditional scrapbooking that I usually do. And if you do that, you don't have to cut these papers at all. You're just going to take the different years here and simply stick one of these on each page in your album. And you're going to have your child's a summary of all their school years, K through 12, including preschool and kindergarten. The other way to do this, say if you have a senior and if you don't want to do all the years right now, you just want to do the senior year, then you need to get the Fast to Fab album. So this has the pages pre-designed, and you can take pictures all the rest of the school year starting now. You probably have some on your phone already, and you can just put them in as you go on those pre-designed pages, and then you'll have something for your child's senior year. But today we're going to look at this summary of all their first days of school, and you can make some smaller albums. So we also have an 8 by 8, that's a different size, and then we have, this is called our Happy Album. Let me show you the difference. This is a 12 by 12, and this is the page that we're working on today. Let me show you an example. So here's my Happy Album from last year. And I'm going to put these pages in here just to show you, but we're going to have some new colors coming out in October, and right now you can get the Caribbean one. So if you, like I said, this is last year, so we don't have this right now, but this gives you an idea of the size. And then our 8 by 8 are coming out in October too. This is a 6 3/4 by 10 album. So if you want to do an 8 by 8, you can order the pages now and do exactly what I'm doing today, but your measurements are going to be slightly different. So today we're doing this size, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is the 12-inch trimmer, Creative Memories, and it has a pull-out arm with a ruler on it. We're going to need this. Since the Happy Album is 6 3/4 by 10 inches, we're just going to make those cuts. But we want to have, of course, we want to have the decorated year on our page. So what I want you to do is turn this sideways, and we are going to cut all these papers at 10 inches. Just going to cut the top off, and you're going to use that top. I'm going to give you some tips when we're done with the fronts of them, and we're going to use the top for a bonus project. Okay, and then turn it to the side, making sure that your words are on the big part of your cut, and cut it at 6 3/4. So there's our first page. We're going to use this. We're going to use this leftover, so just put that aside. Now, if you're doing an 8 by 8 album, then you want to cut this 8 inches by 8 inches. But for right now, I don't want to confuse anybody, 10 inches by 6 3/4. All right, let's go on to the next one. Ten inches. Side, because on the backs of these, each one has a different design. I didn't tell you that. And they're kind of relevant to the year. So that's why we're saving the leftovers, is we're going to use the backs for the back of the page and a bonus project. All right, back to kindergarten. There we go. Now we've got our basic pages cut, and you see that they all have a design on the back. But first we're just going to put these down. Now we're going to put it all together. So this is a pack of Happy Album pages. Now let me give you a quick tip. Normally when we get a pack of paper, we get 12 pages. Well, this is really a bonus because it has 14 sheets. That's one for every year, K through 12 plus preschool. But a pack of Happy Album pages comes with 13. So just a tip that you'll either want to order another pack or put preschool and kindergarten back to back, or leave out preschool, whatever you want to do. Just to be aware, if you're using the fronts of the pages, you're going to run out, and just work it out however you want to. And this does come with page protectors in it. So let's pull out our pages. And I have my piles with the years on them over here, and I have my scraps in order over here. So I'll show you what that's all about. I'm going to take my repositionable tape runner or your regular tape runner. It doesn't matter because these are going to fit pretty easily. Let me turn it facing you here. And see, that's the back of the junior one. It's got the little sports things on it. And here on the top is the part that goes with that. So I'm going to use that on the back of the page. That's why I have this pile kind of in order. Now, if you have to stop and put this away, or you lose track of which one goes with which year, no worries. Just take your cover sheet and you will be able to see, oh, there's crayons on the back of preschool, there's the sports things on the back of junior, graduation caps on the back of senior. You can just use this page as a cheat sheet to see which designs on the backs of the pages go with which year. Or you can just mix them all up and do whatever you like. All right. Now sometimes they don't fit completely perfectly, And that is no problem. This paper is mostly white, and nobody's going to really notice if you have a little bit of white showing on the side here. But as a guide, I like to have the top lined up. So if something else doesn't completely line up, you want to have your top and hopefully your bottom lined up straight. So now then, on the back of the page, if I want to add some other pictures or some journaling boxes, because I cut the top off first, this is already exactly the right size for the height of the page. Now, you could just put it on just like that. Or what I did with the senior year was I cut it on the diagonal and put it on the page like that. Or you could cut this into a couple of boxes and spread it out. Now I'm going to go back and do that later. So right now I'm just going to do the fronts of the pages. One thing I want to mention is that if you've never used a tape runner before, they're so easy. But I have watched people, let's see, am I doing this on the right size? Right side of the page. There we go. Since I'm doing it upside down, I had to kind of check that because I don't have one of those fancy cameras. Okay, I'll show you on the next one. All right, for freshman year, got it facing me this time. Got these nice little globes on the back, by the way. So tape runner, this is regular tape runner, and it has, it's permanent, and it has these little white stickies on it. This is repositionable tape runner. It's a lot more forgiving. It's made of little dots that I'm sure you can't see on the video, but it's a bunch of little dots, and then the longer they stay adhered on the page, the more permanent they become. But you don't want to use up all your tape runner like crazy. You want to save some money, right? So what you do is you make sure to get the corners so that your paper isn't going to curl up, and then do a good guideline is about every 2 inches. So you do the edges of your paper because you don't want that to flip up and get creased about, and then inside just kind of, you see how I'm doing it, just here and there, and about every 2 inches. You can do a grid or however you want to do it. All right, let me line up the top and the bottom. This one's facing me. There's a little bit of white on the side and nobody's going to notice. So there's our freshman year. Now we're going to do 8th grade. Now you see, here's the beauty of repositionable tape runner. I don't mind a little bit of gap on the side, but I don't want to see it here at the bottom where I have a lot of color and you're going to notice it. So with the repositionable tape, I just peel that right up and try again. I'm going to line them up at the bottom this time. And that makes me more happy. Now, as I said, we're going to run out of pages, and I have some extra pictures that I want to put on the back of the preschool page. So let me grab another page. Let me show you how to take apart and put back together one of our albums. Now, one of the great things about Creative Memories albums is I'm showing you the fast version of what to do today. But you can always go back later and add more pages if you decide that you want to add more pictures. But this way, you're going to have an album done. You'll have a great place to start. So no matter what size, whether it's a 12 by 12, happy album size, or an 8 by 8, the first thing you do is remove the spine. trying to do this backwards, so it's taking me a little extra. Okay, just set that aside. I'm going to turn it towards me. Always, always, just because it makes life easier, work from the back of the album. Why? You can still put it back together if you work from the front of the album, but because it's meant to add pages, you've got this shorter amount of flap up here, and because it's meant to add pages this way. So it just works out easier if you work from the back and keep the front attached. Just don't mess with it. So you take these flexible tabs and you just push it through, or rather unthread it from this plastic part. So I unthreaded the top and the bottom, doesn't matter which order, and then I kind of lay it out in the order that I had it, so it helps me remember how to put it back together. You've got the back cover, which has a cardboard piece here. Just lift that up and take it off the ties here. Then you've got this nice little plastic. This helps you thread it, and it also reinforces where your pages are. Just put that on top next. Then you can remove or add pages by threading them onto the plastic flaps. So I'm going to remove these blank ones, and I had to grab this one to add the preschool. Remove all the other blank ones. And again, you can add some in later if you decide that you just really need more pictures. Okay, so let me get the pages that we did. Again, I've got this facing me so I don't get confused, so it's upside down for you. And just thread them on. You don't have to pull it tight or anything. Just make sure you get the plastic tab through these staples. Now our albums have jeeping. That's a nice reinforcer on the pages, and it holds them at a little distance so that holds them up a little distance so that your pictures last longer. These are really good quality albums. Sophomore, junior, and I've got my senior page over here. Okay. Now then, to put the album back together, make sure your tabs are pulled through so that your pages are all the way on. And then, I like to remember it this way, that this plastic piece is like a page, and the cover is like an open book. That's how I remember it. So take this bottom tab here and put it over the plastic piece, and you see that the plastic piece is like a page, meaning it goes this way, not this way. So it's just like a page, and these are just like staples. It goes on the same way your pages do. Now the back cover, do it like an open book. Don't turn it this way and try to put it on. So now run your tab through that. And then it's sort of easy to see the two holes that are left are the ones you're going to thread through. So do the bottom. And then back through the top. Do the bottom. And then back through the top. Now, I'm going to sort of push this to make it a little tighter. How tight do you want it? You want it to be able to open and lie flat. So if it's gappy here, when you open it, then you need to go to the back and tighten it up. This looks pretty good. It's not wiggly or lots of plastic showing through, and you'll see that wherever you fold it, it's kind of lying flat. The pages are next to each other, whether it's the front or the back of the book. So that's pretty good. That's pretty tight already. Then you close it and you take the spine. You notice one end is rounded and one end is sharp. Always start with the sharp on the bottom. So here's the logo. Here's the bottom of my album. And I'm going to just slide the sharp edges. See if I can get where you can see it. Slide the sharp edges in towards the bottom. And then the rounded edges are easier to push in. So they go in last. And then you want to, don't crush it, but sort of work it in on the ends. And then your book is all put together. Now we're going to embellish and add. Now remember, the most important thing is your pictures. So did you know with Creative Memories you can actually print 4x6 photos and you could get them to come with your order of the school paper, the album, or whatever you're going to get. So, and again, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about a bonus project that you can make with the scraps that we just cut. But for right now, we're going to add the finishing touches here. Now, I don't have a picture to put on today, but just put your picture on, do a little writing. We have embellishments to add. Or if you want to make any of these pages special, maybe the first professional photo that you got at school, then you can use these back to school layered frames. These are kind of 3D and they're already done for you, and you could just put that on the page. But what we're going to do now is just put a little something on the backs of the pages, and maybe you can add a last day of school or a favorite picture, one of your children's favorite pictures, their best friends or something like that. So I am going to go through here and pick the ones that match, like this senior year. This was my biggest leftover piece after cutting this out, and I just did it on the diagonal, and I'm going to do some as blocks. So I fast forwarded a little so that you wouldn't have to watch me as I used up the bigger scraps on the backs of the pages. And again, you could do them all on the diagonal. You could make borders. Here's what I did. And I made some into mats, borders, corners. These are all with the large part that we cut off besides the grade level. The nice thing about diagonals and borders is it doesn't matter what size picture you have. So if your child is in first or second grade and you're making this book for all of their first days of school, then you might want to do something a little more generic. But if you already have the pictures, then you could use the mats and put those on. Or you could just cut your pictures to fit the mats. And I mixed these all up, so you didn't really need to keep them in order anyway. So that's what I did, and boom, you have an album. All you have to do is stick your pictures in, and when I say less than 2 hours, I know that I've been doing this for quite a while, and I might be a little bit faster at some things, but also I was designing and making up as I go. I started this video at 1:15 my time. It's now 2:30. So in an hour and 15 minutes, including trying to decide what to do with the backs, this is done and ready to just put all those wonderful first day of school pictures in. And wait, I have a few scraps left. So what are we going to do with those? The backs, the part that we just used, that was the leftover 10-inch paper. I still have a few more scraps that I didn't use from that. And then we have these long pieces. Remember when we cut off the tops of the pages? They all have something cute on the back or a place to write on. And the bonus project and you don't have to do this if you're too busy, but you can do, is to make thank you cards for the teachers. So this is what I did with the senior paper, the senior year paper, and some of our embellishments. You can also use the mats. You could use these on the backs of the pages. You could just stick a mat and a picture. You can journal about that year. So we have all of the mats and journaling boxes. You could just put these behind your 4x6 photo, these bigger ones, and boom, you don't even have to do any cutting. We also have the ABC handwriting, stencil template, and double-sided pens. They have a fat tip and a thin tip, a fine tip. You could use that for lettering, but again, your year is already done. You could use the black stickers. If you get the back to school bundle, all this comes with it. It's easy, and you could use some of these stickers. I think that would be good for a back to school photo, back to school and looking cool. And then I had an embellishment out a while ago. Oh, here it is. These are cut out, sort of die cut embellishments. First day of school. Wouldn't that be perfect? And so you can use those on your pages or to make the teacher cards. So here's the deal. If you order the back to school pages, album, whatever supplies you decide that you need for this project, which you can get done in less than 2 hours, aside from maybe picking out your pictures, but they're probably on your phone. If you decide to get that from me, and the link to my website is in the show notes, then I will email you not only the basic instructions to what we just did. Of course, you can come back and watch the video and put things on pause. I will email you the ideas, the bonus ideas to make thank you cards for the teachers out of the scraps from this project and embellishments that we have in the kit. So, deal? You can do this. You can make one of these albums and it won't take you forever. You'll have it done. Your kids will look at it over and over. You will look at it over and over. And I just wish you all the best in making your back to school album. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. You can also join my email list. It's in the show notes. And remember, my website is in the show notes and you can get all the back to school items you need. And I will email you the instructions, including the bonus cards. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you later.